Hey everybody, getting ready for episode 305 of History. Just gonna wait for some people to join. Just waiting for a few more people to join, and then we will do our thing. Here's a little crazy. So things to talk about while we wait. So brand new series is going to be premiered in a few weeks. If you are a Patreon subscriber of any level at patreon.com/necessaryoutlet, you can see the pilot now. It is a weekly comedic dating and relationship show I host here from my home called Dying Alone Together. I think it's pretty funny. The people I showed it to so far said they were laughing pretty hard. So, yeah, it's pretty good. So, if you'd like to see the pilot now, you can sign up to become a Patreon member, patreon.com/necessaryoutlet. Otherwise, I think it'll premiere in October, and I will have hopefully a whole slew of episodes in the can to just push out weekly, probably through the end of the year. So that's the goal. What else? I mean, we can't really produce anything right now, so that's about it. Though I am looking into maybe trying to do a music video. We will see. Hello. Just waiting for Black Widow's our usual attendee. If we don't get enough people, we'll just skip this week. That's fine. This episode, so 305. I remember the opening, which we'll get to in a few minutes here. The very first scene. It's always fun for me to do a scene that I'm not in for once, and I can actually just direct it. That's always getting to direct Will and Kevin and just be completely behind camera is something that's afforded to me so infrequently on History. So it's really nice to be able to do that. All right, I think we have a critical mass between a couple people on Instagram, a couple people on YouTube. So what we're going to do is we're watching episode 5 of season 3 of History. I'll give you a few seconds to pull it up so we can watch together. It is on youtube.com/necessaryoutlet, slurring. I'm not having a stroke. The very top playlist for you should be the season 3 of History playlist. And you're looking for episode 5, might say 305, called Advocate. And I'll give you a few more seconds to pull that up, and then we're going to hit play. Final thoughts. I did write my second feature. It's done. The script is done, and I'm going to submit it to some festivals and try to win some prizes, or I don't know, get some notoriety behind it before I decide to produce it. But that is feature number 2 is done. If you have not seen Snowflake, you can watch Act 1 for free on YouTube. So youtube.com/necessaryoutlet, you'll see it. It's right up there. There are a bunch of clips from the movie. You can see the full, I think it's first 35 minutes of the movie, because I know that you will get hooked if you watch this thing, and then you'll go and rent it on Vimeo, which is where it currently is. It should be on Amazon soon. They're having problems with the closed captioning file. It's always something. All right, so I'm going to assume that everyone has the episode queued up. Episode 305 of History. We're ready to go. I'm hitting play in 3, 2, 1.
This could be all the time now. So I told Ray that we would meet him for brunch today before he leaves town. Are you joking? No.
I really liked their relationship.
Asshole Ray from your party. Yeah. He goes back to San Fran tonight. really get a chance to chat with him last weekend?
Yeah, because he was an asshole.
He's just Ray. It's whatever.
I think I'm gonna hang back and get some more work done.
The pacing of this was really fun. And having him go and get the coffee and...
He insulted every single one of my friends.
Okay, well, Jamie was asking for it.
You told him to throw Ray out.
Yeah, because Ray was rude, but it's between them. It's none of our business.
Yes, it is.
Ray was rude. Jamie yelled at
So
him.
this
Ray
scene
shot back.
sets up the disconnect between
Also, did I see you get into
Kevin
it with
and
Brandon?
Will for the
If I love
first
having brunch with
time. And
What
you're
do you think that
seeing
was like,
Will's,
or anyone else he insulted.
his
Why do we give a shit about Ray?
protective nature over Jamie, which builds and
He
builds
works
through the
for
episode.
your
And hopefully you've seen
in another
hinted throughout the
office.
season.
You don't work with him.
That was sort of the
Okay,
goal,
and
so that you
second
could see
of all,
little moments of
this
Will
is
standing up
just
for Jamie, so this all
really
started to make
nice
sense as it rolls towards the
Do you
end.
have any idea how expensive hotels are there? It would be nice to maintain some level of friendship.
To stay at his place when we visit?
Yeah. Babe, he's not going to be our best friend. And honestly, I'm sure.
So this level of social climbing and critique on that, I mean, it is.
Fuck him. But let's not burn bridges over stupid shit.
So
All we have to do
incredibly
is see him
prevalent
when he comes into town. And
in New York. I think probably any big city.
sounds like a pretty
It's why
sweet
people
deal
move
to me.
here. I've experienced with it. No, not my first ex, but the two recent ones. Both of them so obsessed with fitting in and being at the right parties and the right people and being looked at a certain way and not burning bridges with people that could be useful.
Yeah, well, as we discussed, that
Where
was
Jamie is more like me and sort of has the
She called me after Jared.
I keeps it real all the time. I'm not gonna.
Both of us separate.
I don't use people.
I didn't know. I didn't know what to say. I just hung up the phone. Fucking nerve.
yeah. Well, I hope you found more
So
value. in
Claire
that.
Kennedy, who plays my therapist, plays the vice president's wife in Snowflake, and she.
So,
As soon as I worked with her on Snowflake, I was like, I need to work with you again. Like, she was amazing, and I want to have scenes with you. And I basically wrote this for her and I to be able to play because she's so good.
Is that why you wanted to meet?
Partly. Usually I would just do relationship stuff with Matthew, but I had to walk away from that.
Sorry to hear that too. Dare I ask about Will? It is Will, right? Your non-sexual life partner, I believe, is how you described him.
Will is good. He is happily partnered with a good guy. We don't really talk about relationship stuff. It's kind of our.
So the fact that Jamie and Will do not talk about relationship stuff,
What was that?
Just
the is why don't you two talk about relationship stuff? Like you're best friends, but you don't talk about each other's relationships. And then the structure of this episode was meant to be sort of similar to the season one
Elliot is on Long Island with his mom all weekend, so I am
finale on the train. The sort of vignettes of people with the storyline. So in season one, that episode is the train. In this
Anyways, my
therapy
apartment is
session,
a zoo,
and then
so
he sort of cut in.
Get out of the house is fine with me.
Zoo.
Elliot's parents are getting divorced, and so his brother and sister have moved out of the family house and are staying with us. And they brought the dog, which Elliot thinks is actually his biological
So
sister.
it's two additional people and the dog.
His sister's in the guest room, his brother is on the couch. The dog is sleeping with us, which is fine with me, but it's traumatized from moving, so pees and poos everywhere, and it can't jump off the bed. So when it happens in the middle of the night, Jamie is just
How long is that going to go on?
I guess until they're divorced.
So Jamie, with this Matthew stuff, he is.
Saving on rent at least.
He has a hard time
That's why they were living at home.
accepting for other people what would be unacceptable to
So-
him.
Matthew, do you remember when we first met?
Memorial Day party?
Pride Party.
Yes.
The one where Brian and Andrew were fighting.
That does not narrow it down.
Do you remember the first thing you said to me?
Did I ask if you like tilapia?
I think this was pre-tilapia.
Did I ask if you like some pussy?
Yes.
I missed dog.
Before that,
So
you saw me talking to, oh God, I don't remember his name. Is that bad?
There have been so many.
Some CrossFit dude. We were struggling for a conversation, and you noticed that we didn't really have much to talk about. So you jumped in and said I should talk to you instead, and pretty much just entirely hot-blocked me.
I do remember this.
The reason I bring that up is because Matthew, your friendship's special to me. You have a very unique way of calling me on my shit. Right? Back then, you saw what I was doing. You
So
interjected yourself.
Jamie buttering up Matthew because he's
Gave
about
me a new point of view.
call Matthew on his shit.
At the same time, like offer friendship.
He's trying to lay the foundation
That's kind of
to
your
hope
thing.
that this gets
It's a result of a lot.
received well. Just because someone can dish it doesn't mean someone can take it.
Not just
But I think Jamie's very
Not just friendship, not
concerned.
just humor, because God,
He's going to drop the hammer, and it's
you're
not going to go as well as when Matt drops the hammer for Jamie, as he often does.
I really just have to do this.
I think this is the first thing I filmed with Matthew.
He's an asshole. He's an asshole.
Yeah, this is the first thing I filmed with Matthew this season.
I remember when you were dating.
Or
Taylor,
very early.
LA
I think we did the
guy,
Penn
yeah.
State stuff the night before, and then this was the morning after.
Stuck with me. What if I only date people who aren't next to me?
And this is actually the lobby area at a Greek Orthodox church.
Every single person you dated.
So we had to remove
Every
all the
single person
Jesus
you dated.
paraphernalia.
Shit. I don't like seeing my friends.
And
treat
upstairs is a like a cafeteria area
and
that we had
your
used
other friends.
brunch in
They're
season
assholes.
2.
They're mean.
And I think I used it for my other web series, Millennial Memoir.
Brian and Andrew, they're not even nice to each other. Now, I don't know if that's.
I have no idea if they knew that we were filming like gay content at this
What
church.
do you think relationships work? Matthew Elliott had an entire plan to cheat on you. He says nasty things to you all the time. He's apparently now trying to keep you separated from the people who care about you. Oh, now his whole family is apparently mooching.
You know, looking at myself on camera, I think my part has. I think I've
He's a
moved
leech.
more
Okay?
inwards.
And you need
I
to
think
burn 'em
I
off
used to have sort of
before
this. Maybe I need to grow that
trains
back.
you dry.
God, how long would that take?
Discard you.
I know you are saying this from a place of love and compassion.
So Matthew has been over therapied. So that's why he does like the I statements and the.
Well, I'll be blunt. It's not any of your business. Okay, he's a boyfriend. It's a choice I've made. It's a choice I'm making. And the reasons why.
So I think this was relatable content because I think everyone sort of has that
his
friend
faults.
that
Whatever
they
they
love
might be.
very much,
I've decided I'm okay.
and then and they've separated, and the only reason for that is because of nothing to do with the relationship itself between the two people, but the choices that
But then I
person
guess
is
the song
making,
would be,
or that one of
He's
them
my
is
boyfriend,
making, and
so
just
he's
not being able to.
I don't force you to hang out with my friends who you don't like. And I won't
And this
force
really
you to
drives
hang out
home
with
the problem with
But
Matthew
if
and
he
Jamie's
doesn't
relationship
think
is that
you,
they are each other's
and you don't do
friends,
something to help fix that, then
but Jamie does not like the company that Matthew keeps outside of him. He had always viewed, and he even talks about it in season 1 about like he wants to like pluck Matthew out of what he views as a bad situation and bring it into his fold. And this is sort of the natural conclusion, which is that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
I'm forgetting
I'm not going to be a friend, mistress. I'm not going to be the person you go see whenever your boyfriend's not looking. Like, friendship's a little more valuable than that. So, I don't have it within me to watch him be treated like shit. So you can just let me know when he's done with you.
That's not uncommon. Seeing a friend get into a bad relationship and ignore their friend's warnings, they end up then feeling isolated because their friends can't watch it happen.
I just keep thinking about what the right thing to say would have been to break through.
Yeah, but that's what's frustrating about these situations. There is no right thing to say. When you're stuck in that situation, nothing from the outside.
I think it's so great about Claire is she's just so honest on camera. She's so believable.
Decide he wants something to change, and then muscle up the courage.
I knew she would like working with her with my
That's
game,
on him.
just even as an
The
actor.
only thing
She's
you can
just
do
so
is
talented.
Decide whether you want to watch it play out or wait until it's over. But
She also has a really good sense of like knowing where the camera is and like working the camera.
Hellfire.
no, a protector.
Yeah.
Would you say that you kind of enjoy it?
What?
You enjoy it. You take enjoyment from protecting others.
I think I do.
I wonder if Matthew takes enjoyment in the role of being relied on, bringing stability.
Stability.
Well, if I remember him correctly, he's like the oddball of the group. He has an obsession with fish.
He just really likes the word tilapia.
So the friend this is based off of had an obsession with that word, I think because of RuPaul's Drag Race, because they would say that as like being fishy. And ever since he heard that, he just could not stop saying
Other
it.
friends, he's seen as the odd duck, yeah.
He loves this.
Maybe. But when he's with his friends, with Elliot, I bet he is the picture of stability. I bet he's emotionally mature and thoughtful and brings order to everyone's chaos.
Yeah. You know what? Compared to them, Matthew is the picture of stability.
Must be nice for him to feel that. But his acceptance of the situation is conflicting with your drive to protect him.
It is.
It seems really ingrained in you, isn't it?
It is.
Would you say it's central to your identity?
I would.
Where do you think that comes from?
Oh, this scene. So then we get
So, yes. Maybe this-
Michael, who plays the principal. So he played
He
The
told me one of his teachers
vice president
This is
in Snowflake. And
His
he just
English
kind of,
teacher?
I was like, you just got to be a real dick. And he was like, got it.
JB's never got anything less than an A+ in that class.
His grades are excellent. He is kind of known for that.
So what's the problem here, Steve?
And the fact that she refuses,
Well, in her recommendation letter, Mrs. Brown
his
says
mother,
his behavior as
like calls him the principal by his
disqualified
first name. Like she's just like, fuck all of this. I just love this dynamic so much.
Jamie Ford has never served a day of detention in his life. If anything, I could see him chatting with girls too much when he's bored, but that can't be enough to
Mrs.
stop.
Brown is a very Christian woman, and I can see why she would vouch for your son.
I don't understand. He is an excellent student. You said so
Yes,
yourself.
as I said, he's known for that, but he's also known for something else.
Where's Mrs. Brown?
That's nothing.
Oh, I know.
The fact that she's like, I'm gonna go talk to her. I love it. I love this mama bear.
Let's not get hysterical.
Take your hand off me.
You're so good at being such a
Come
tool.
back with your husband.
I can handle myself quite well, thank you.
Up until a few months ago, so I'm out in the
Listen here, lady.
I'm out in the court. Oh, I love that slap. And he kept telling her, like, really slap me. Like, really slap me. Go ahead and do it. So, what was I going to say? Shit, I lost my train of thought because of the slap. Oh, Michael. So I'm out in my courtyard walking my dog, like, a few months ago, and there he is walking his dog. He moved into my building. Now, he's since moved to LA, but it was just really funny. Of all the places in New York,
About how many people have sat on my
a
couch
former
and
actor of
talked about
mine
how
moves
their
into my
parents
building.
just
It's very
kicked
weird.
them out of their house.
So I bet you would say that I should just forgive her. I should just pretend like she didn't try to manipulate me, didn't lie to my fine face.
Well, back up. What happened with Mom?
So Miami is MLK weekend. President's
So dropping the hints that something's up with Mom, but trying not
Because
to
I also
like
have a dream. The
spill the
dream that
beans.
these two gay boys aren't freezing their asses off in a New York January. Right. And you're going home for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yes. Okay. So I'll come with you for Thanksgiving, and then I'll go home to see my parents for Christmas. If you would only all these trips, I'm going to be broke. Only there was some way for you to drastically decrease your rent. Kevin. Utility bill, cable bill. Pressure. Clock is ticking.
So we filmed all of the. This
So that's
was.
And we're looking at the cruiser march, yes? Yes.
This took a long time to film. 'Cause this is a lengthy scene. We had a lot of
This weekend.
movement.
Yeah. Next weekend. This weekend. Oh shit. Jamie just invited me to go home with him this weekend. I think for his sister's wedding. That's gonna be a shit show. Which is why I think he asked me to go for backup since Mark's out of the picture. Oh, speaking of Mark, I invited him to take Erin's spot on the trip this weekend, so glad that worked out. What? Erin, she broke her ankle, remember? Since we had advanced her spot and Mark freed out, I invited him. Thought he could use a nice weekend. I can't go on a ski weekend with Mark a week after he and Jamie break up. Especially since Jamie just invited me to take Mark's place. Jamie is the one that broke up. And anyway, that's between them. There's no reason we can't still be friends with Mark just because they broke up. Do you have any idea how Jamie's going to feel about that? Babe, we can't take sides in this. Which is exactly how it's going to look. Will. When I first met Jamie, he had just gotten out of his relationship with Jared, and
I love this real speech. I hope he uses this in his reels because this is probably his best performance of the whole series. This monologue.
I had just moved here and had only recently come out and was trying to make a life in New York.
It just explains
I was there for
how they bonded
and he was there for me.
and why it meant so much on because we see it from Jamie's point of view in season 1. We never really get Will's side of it. We just like Will and he's just, down for whatever. But
That's our deal, okay?
here is now in Will's own
I
words
cannot,
how he
under
views the
any
relationship
circumstances,
for the first time.
go off on a ski trip the weekend after him and his ex break up. That's a non-starter. So we can't be friends with Mark anymore. We can. We just need to be considerate. Good. Because that man's going to be a CEO one day, and I want a spot on that private jet.
And it's that remark which just finally just sort of like Will could never really figure out why he didn't want to pull the trigger with Kevin
Would you
because
date
everything
me?
was great.
If we couldn't take these trips.
And now he's sort of realizing that Kevin is really just all about the lifestyle
I was a waiter and had to
and
work
cares
double
more
shift
about
just to
the
pay rent.
lifestyle than he does
Would you
Will.
go on a second
And I
date?
don't know if Will ever
That's for sure.
realized
That's a
how
question.
important it was, as important as it is
When I
to
date a
Jamie,
waiter,
for
no.
the person who's with
An
him
actor, no, not unless
to
he's
sort of
making
love him
millions.
for who he is
Bartender,
unconditionally
No.
and not
I
his
want
status
a
or
certain kind of
his.
lifestyle. Our lifestyle. That's something that I want. Now, would I date someone that I didn't think was attractive or didn't think was a good person just to have that lifestyle? No. But is success and financial stability important to me? Yes. And it is to you too.
And this speech from Kevin, because I didn't want to paint Kevin as this like huge dick, but he has priorities that are a
I
lot of
think I
people's
should
priorities
go with
who aren't
James.
bad people. That's just their.
So I guess that makes it okay.
They probably don't
No,
say
you're
it
not bailing on this.
the
This
way
is
they-
a couple's trip with my couple friends. You're not going to make me go alone.
You invited Mark. It's obviously not a couple's trip.
Seeing the tension between them. I love the scene. They're so good
Why
at
do we
it.
have to get involved in Jamie's shit all the time? You yelling at Elliot at the cabin, blowing up at Brandon. Look, I like Jamie. I do. But he's a 35-year-old man. I'm a 35-year-old man. You are a 35-year-old man. I think it's time we all start dealing with our own shit, okay? Look, we'll take him out to dinner next week. Or better yet, we'll send him a case of wine. Is he a red guy or a white guy?
So your mom was your defender.
We're almost out of time. I don't really think we should get into this right now.
We can go long today.
So what I told Claire for this was we have to play this because we're not showing it to the audience. We have to play as if I have just told you what the reveal is.
It must have been gendered a lot.
And we have to have that in us as we do this conversation. So hopefully on rewatches for all of you, it makes more sense why them Philly moms, yeah. Why
So it's not surprising.
there's so much heaviness suddenly in the scene that we didn't see
To find out that someone you had
how it showed
implicitly
or how it
trust
came.
had betrayed you, manipulated you.
And hopefully it's one of those things that when you get the reveal in the next episode, you're like, oh shit, now I get it now. I understand now.
Can someone do anything worse to Jamie Ford?
I don't think so.
And when someone does,
Yeah, no.
they're out. Because they abused your trust. You can't trust them. They have to be on the outside. They can't be close to you. Jared out, Mom out.
Alan, Daniel, Michael, Cooper.
Mark.
Oh, I love the scoring of this season. Just those chords, I love them. This scene was tough. So we did like all of the stuff. We did all the apartment stuff in one day. That was tough. Because we did all the stuff in the last episode with like the pre-party stuff. Anything else with Mark that day? I think that was probably it. And then this, and we had to do it in like 3 pieces. We had to do the bedroom piece, then we had to do the outside piece. It was a lot.
This place went to shit pretty fast. What do you want? As far as I know, I'm still your boyfriend, so. I want to talk about you.
And Mark obviously doesn't know.
I don't do that. You can't just go. This is about you.
you're upset with me because I've not responded to you in 48 hours. No, you're here for an apology.
I'm here to talk, which is what we should have done after the party. You just stormed off and didn't respond to any of my messages.
Yeah, messages.
Jamie,
Yeah. I love
I'm sorry.
so the way we staged this, the way we decided to do it was just like Mark's gonna keep like moving like a foot
What
more
exactly
and
are
a
you
foot
sorry
more
for?
to sort of approach this like isolated, sealed off, angry, because he can't
Not defending you to Brandon.
really figure out exactly why he's upset. And then it's when he finally gets
You
into
don't
the
like
center
confrontation. No, I'm very aware.
physically,
of the terrible accident you had as
and
a
it's
child where
revealed
the
that
doctor
Jamie
said,
knows.
remove your fucking spine.
Hey.
So that's what you're sorry for.
Yes. Look, I'm
And this whole thing, because he's about to talk about
my feet like you.
like
okay?
quick on your feet, like
Oh, pride
Jamie
just jumped
keeps
to 100.
being.
It's the same as with Elliot at the cabin. Okay, I was on the
Jamie's
wrong side. I just
different
froze because I'm not programmed
than
like you
Will or
are. And anyway,
than
you'd be pleased to know that Will ends
So that's what you're sorry for. That's your
Mark,
final
because
answer.
he's like zippy and witty and quick and fast. And that's not it. He is, but it's that at his core, he's a defender, he's a protector, he's an advocate. And he wants that returned for him.
I'm wearing my jock. I thought that would be of interest to you. Oh yeah, fuck, that's hot. I bet I could just slide my hand in the back of your jeans. Touch that tight hole of yours. Oh yeah, I definitely think you should.
Okay, look, that was wrong. You had no right to go.
You asked me to get your phone off the charger. It was all on your fucking home screen. Do you know where it is now? It's burned in my fucking brain, you fucking piece of shit. Now, again, exactly what are you sorry for?
So that's sort of like this scene has 3 acts. That's sort of act 1, like now he knows what this is actually about, what he should have known the whole time. He just didn't know that Jamie knew. And now we move to act 2 of the scene, and then act 3 is the goodbye. Lots of pacing. Pacing was really important in this season. I mean, it's always important, but like we really thought out the beats of all of the scenes.
Capable of that?
You don't know my pieces of it.
Did you think?
I have felt Brandon exactly once with you at the cabin. Not before, not after. That's the truth. Okay.
And this sort of
That was
his
minimal. I was in Penn State.
selective
He's come into CrossFit a couple of times.
reveals.
Ran into him when you were at Penn State. Before that, Dog's funeral, which you were there for.
Like he's
and
telling
Kevin's
Jamie all of these.
Kevin's party, both of which you were there for, and he and I had coffee twice.
After fun.
And he drops like it's the misleading thing. It's the like who he drops in the coffee. Well, I told you about it.
Thing, as I told you.
That Jamie latches on like, well, when were these? And
See, thought it was okay to have 2 coffee dates just because I said I might want to have a threesome.
There weren't dates, and it was before that.
Before that,
Before Dog's funeral.
just that he makes Jamie.
So this is the bit I'm not gonna lie. I saw him at CrossFit months before that, and he was flirty, and we had coffee a couple of times, and I said that I was in a committed relationship and that we were just going to be friends, and he suggested the threesome, and I suggested it to you, and then I just wanted to swim by the funeral.
you pretended to meet him. What was an act?
I was worried if you found out about the coffee meetups or just meetups that you would get the wrong idea.
Wrong idea. Oh, I think I would have gotten the right idea.
Yeah, I was restless.
and these excuses. Oh, I had to keep this from you because of this.
And
And
briefly wanted to date Brandon, and I thought by hooking up with
it's
him,
all
I
of
could
this just
work out
like,
what I wanted, and I did. I wanted to be with you.
you should feel sorry for me of what I was
I
going
felt
through.
immediately terrible about the whole thing.
Yeah,
I messaged him and I said,
certainly
never again. And so it was
flames.
like, well, apparently he didn't.
So it parallels what happened to Matthew from he's reacting
and
now to
I
it
tried my
happening
best
to
ignore
him,
and
when
occasionally I
earlier he
flirted with him
reacted
because
to the news of something similar happening to Matthew.
I was flattered, okay?
And it's just
And I know
showing
I didn't mean to
Matthew
hurt him again. I just felt very awkward.
accepted it and took
And I
him.
was afraid that if I shut him down too harshly, he might get angry and say something.
And Jamie can't.
I didn't know what would happen to us if he got mad and said something. I'm sorry.
You should see how angry I was when the actual events that that inspired this storyline happened.
Not manipulating me. How about not orchestrating some way for you to have comparison side by side of your current boyfriend and your potential future boyfriend? Is there a threesome report I can read? Some sort of scorecard? Who's the better kisser? Who's got the bigger dick? Who's the tighter asshole? Who's warmer inside? Can you convert that to Fahrenheit for me? I'm not Elliot. Okay, I didn't do what he did. I didn't run off with someone hoping to have an affair. Okay, I made a mistake and I tried to undo it without hurting you. And I think when you calm down, you specifically should be a bit more empathetic.
And why is that?
Well, let's be honest, why did you want an open relationship with Jared? Get out. I think that's a mistake. Get out! Matthew, if you're going to go for worse, you have to remember. I'm not Matthew.
I don't think we've ever seen, until this scene, I don't think we've ever seen, hey Black Widow, I don't think we've ever seen a angry breakup with Jamie. They've all been sort of like, we're just not right for each other kind of breakups. Or, but an actual, because even the Jared one was more of a monologue, but like this argument.
You orchestrated the entire scene. You played an entire scenario again. But I will not forgive. You think? You don't have my back. You never will. And that's why you felt like just manipulating me so you can get you. I'm so tired of being used. I don't play official comedy games, Jamie. If you kick me out, you have to be prepared to see me again. I'm serious.
And the threatening, the like, if I'm out, like we're not gonna do the games. If I'm gone, I'm gone. This is your last chance. Even that is manipulative. It's just showing that everything behind Mark's actions is some level of emotional manipulation. Oh, thank you, Brennan. Sorry, I'm just seeing your compliment now. Thank you very much.
I think that we learn how love is expressed and received from our parents.
I used that scene in my reel when I auditioned.
Childhood abusive parents, they have that behavior imprint on them, and it manifests in their relationships. So I don't know Matthew. But I imagine that whatever love it is for him, it's being expressed by Elliot in some way. I mean, maybe Matthew's parents, they picked each other apart the way that Elliot picks at him. Maybe reliance and codependency is a form of love. Maybe Matthew sees love expressed by staying committed through extreme hardship. What's love for you?
Oh, and the unseen.
Science thing.
I forgot about this scene.
You didn't come here to shit on my best friend and try to fuck his boyfriend? And expect to stay here, did you? How fucking dare you? Oh, and just to be clear, I didn't break up with you because you have a big dick. I broke up with you because you are a big fucking dick. And this little act you do, it lasted about 2 drinks. And then all I could see was your vanity and desperation. And it was pathetic. Get the fuck out of here.
Jamie. What's love for you?
An advocate.
That's such a sweet episode. It made me tear up watching it, and I wrote the damn thing. And watched it a billion fucking times while I was editing it. And hopefully, the goal was when you came off of this, there was, if you didn't know it, you at least had an inkling that it's like, Jamie and Will, it's Jamie and Will. Like, the Will Kevin thing is obviously either close to over or over. The Mark thing's over. Jamie's had a realization. Hopefully you felt the momentum going into the 6th episode of like, oh, I think. So that was the goal with that. I think I think this episode, you understand Will's internal life more than you have ever, because the show's almost always focused on Jamie's internal life. So you really understand Will's. You get to see Jamie actually have like an argumentative breakup, which is something we haven't seen before. You get to see like Will when he's pressed. You get the heartbreak of Matthew. And then it's this last episode that we're going to go into next week. I mean, it's pretty much just Jamie and Will. There are some flashbacks to parent stuff, but it's pretty much it's the Jamie and Will episode. It's just them the whole time. That's a wrap. That was a wrap for Matthew. And it's, if we are fortunate to be able to do a 4th season someday, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if, how, why, in what capacity Matthew returns. So I have this idea of like I think you have to reference the pandemic and like quarantine and what they did during that time. And I think it would be interesting, like a little Elliot and Matthew in quarantine. What that must have been like. I think there's a lot of humor there. Anyway. All right. We only have one more left. Last one next week. We'll watch the final episode of season 3. The stuff that I mentioned at the top for those of you who joined throughout. Brand new series, Dying Alone Together. It is a weekly relationship webisode. If you are a Patreon subscriber at patreon.com/necessaryoutlet, any level, you can see the pilot episode now. Otherwise, you have to wait for its premiere, which I assume will be sometime in October. And shoot and edit a few more just to have a few more in the can, and then these will hopefully go out weekly through the end of the year is the goal. Yeah, that's it. New music. If you would like to listen to new music, basically I using quarantine. There's very little I could do. I recorded like nearly 30 new songs and all of different genres, and I tried different things, and I kind of went on my comfort zone with some stuff, did some super modern stuff, did some other stuff. If you would like to be part of the focus group that is basically listening to different selections, different pieces, and helping me decide like which sort of sound and which sort of direction like hits harder and works better, and what you like and what you don't like. It was really experimental, so I'm trying to get some feedback. I have strong opinions, but I like to make sure I'm not being tunnel visioned. If you would like to be part of that, message me on Instagram, message me through here, message me wherever, and I will get back to you on that, and I'll send you some stuff to listen to with some questions. So, all right, thank you, everybody. I will see you all next week for the last one. Mwah.